So you're struggling because you don't create enough club head speed through your golf swing. That could be because you don't put proper force and torque into the ground to get it out to the club. If you haven't covered the first video, which we talk about laterals, I'm gonna put that in the comments below. And also we covered number 2, which is rotation or torque. Laterals is first, then torque. Now we're gonna get into vertical. Verticals are up and down in the golf swing. And yes, there is some amount of dip and there's some amount of raise in the golf swing. Even though you see a lot of golfers only have a minimal little dip, I can tell you that they're unweighting a lot. And that unweighting is super important, just like an unweighting is when you were to go jump vertical. And again, this is what we're talking about. We're going to talk about verticals in the golf swing and how you can increase your club head speed through increasing your verticals. Now, if you don't have force plates, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to give you a couple of drills that can help you feel that more. And we're going to talk about golf jumps. Now, golf jumps, I learned these from TPI, Dr. Greg Rose. He often shows this to PGA pros to get them to understand when and how the vertical, the jump part, brings the arms down in the golf swing. So we're going to cover that first. We're going to talk about what is a golf jump. The golf jump is a really interesting movement pattern because let's say in a normal jump, of course, the arms are going to go down as we go down, and then we're going to jump up. So we got a normal jump just like that. The golf jump is something interesting because in the golf swing, we know that as our arms go up, our body is going to start going down. And so the arms go up and we start almost unweighting, nearing the top of that backswing. That is when we're going to start having our peak lateral. And then we're actually going to start unweighting as we start working down, especially for those golfers that are really trying to hit the ball far. You see, Rory McIlroy is a great example. As he's nearing the top of his backswing, he is drastically lowering it and unweighting himself. And that would be this motion in the jump. Guess what comes after that? A ton of vertical. So a golf jump, what we're going to do, is I want you to get comfortable doing this motion, is as you start squatting up, your arms go down. Your arms go up. So we're going to squat down, but the arms go up. It's an interesting feeling, but once you get comfortable to that, as you start squatting down, the arms are going to go up, and then we're going to jump. This jump is going to drive the arms down, not we drive the arms down after. So usually I'll show this to amateurs, and what they do first is they go like this. And it's really awkward. What you need to do is get comfortable, arms going up, and then the jump drives the arms down. So I want you to try that. It is a different feel, but this is the first bit of that. Then once you get comfortable with that, then we're going to add in a little bit of weights. You can either use a light slam ball, or if you've got an impact bag, this is what I use in my studio. We're going to do the impact bag. So we're going to do that same motion. So as we're going down, we're going to pick up that impact bag. Then as we go down, the arms go up, then we jump, and we throw the impact bag down. That will be level 2. Now, my favorite is when we start adding a little bit of rotation into this. So as we're going up, as we squat down, the weight goes up, just like this. And then as we start going into our unweighting, we're going to start feeling like the arms drive the slam bag back down behind us. So it looks something like this. So arms up, dip as we go up, and then jump, and then we throw the weight down. That's what we're looking for in stage 3. All right, then we're going to grab a golf club. Now, this is very awkward with a golf club at the beginning. And what we're looking for is as the arms are starting to go up, we're going to feel that unweighting. Same feel. And then all we're going to do is just slowly at the beginning, get comfortable feeling, all right, as the arms go up, I'm going to feel like I go just down slightly. Then, as we want to feel like we shift towards a target, we're going to feel like we get vertical as we swing down and through. Okay? That's the next stage. That's what we're looking for in the progression of doing a couple golf jumps. Then we got the club. Now, without the club, what we can also do is we can grab a fitness band. If we are trying to get the vertical up the lead leg, which does about 2/3 of the verticals, we're going to put this band just onto the lead foot, just behind the balls of the feet. So somewhere right around here. Then we're going to put this onto your lead side shoulder. And you're really going to feel this stretch. Now, what I want you to do to intensify it is you're going to put your hand in here. Now, as you turn and rotate, you want to feel like, how would you stretch out this band as you're coming into the transitional phase? That's what we're looking for. We want to feel like we're stretching that band out because we're putting force into the ball of our foot this way into the ground. And again, out towards that like 1 o'clock, if 12 o'clock's towards the target. Really feeling that unweighting. You'll feel the band sort of soften just a bit. And then how could you stretch that band as much as you can out of that foot? That's what we're looking for. And then lastly, one of my favorites are these little force pedals. You can create a force pedal yourself just with a pool noodle. You can cut it maybe about 4 inches and cut it in half. Get this right about here so you can see it a little bit better from face on. We're gonna step onto this pool noodle right into the balls of my lead foot, ball of my lead foot. Then from here, as you're working up to the top, again, we got that same feel of, all right, as the arms go up, we're gonna feel like we unweight. We're feeling like we unweight as we recenter towards the target. Okay, that's a good feeling. And then as we feel like we unweight into that, we wanna feel like, all right, we're gonna then just stomp into that force pedal. And as we stomp into that force pedal, the second I start applying force into that pedal, it starts driving me back. That's what we're looking for into that vertical. It's up and away, just like that. And I want you to do that so much that you actually start getting driven back and up. So it'll look something like this. Again, I'm feeling like as my arms go up, I'm gonna go down, and then I wanna feel like I'm gonna put tons of force into that little pedal. And that pushes me back and away. I don't know if you've ever seen the long drive guys. They put so much force, both torque and vertical, into the ground that it drives their lead foot out of the way. Now, that's what we're looking for. So we got some golf jumps to get the feel for it. We've got some band work to feel that really vertical, that stretch of that band. And then we've got little force pedal or pool noodle works. Then I want you to get comfortable hitting some golf shots. With the golf shots, our goal is that we're gonna put maximum pressure into this lead foot, and we're actually trying to drive ourselves up and back and away. You might hit some interesting shots. That is totally fine. We're trying to learn the timing of that. Where we want to time that is somewhere between shaft vertical and shaft parallel to the ground is where we're looking to have that peak. Now, of course, if you don't have force pedals, it's hard to feel that. So what I would tell most golfers is they need to do it sooner, because most amateurs that I get on these force plates, they might have good verticals. They're just very late into the ground with those and therefore can't get out to the club. What I would love for you to do is I want you to put the club just out a little bit in front of that golf ball. We're gonna swing it back over top of that. And as you're swinging it back over top of that, that's where you're now gonna feel like, okay, yeah, that's that unweighting, that's that golf jump feel. And then you're gonna start loading that pressure into that lead foot so that you can jump out of the way and back. Now, might top a couple. That's totally normal, that's totally fine. As I said, you might hit a couple interesting shots. All we're looking for is, can we get that feel of loading into that lead foot, into the ball lead foot, and it's driving your lead hip up and back and out of the way. So it looks something like this in the little drill. And so what we got here is about 96 miles per hour club head speed. Normally I would say I'm like 90, 92. And yeah, it's an interesting shot. I wouldn't be my best shot, but what we're looking for is, can we get the feel of putting force into that lead foot? And we want to overdo it in the drills so that when we back off of it, it's still there in our normal shot. So to recap a couple things that we want in your golf swing. First things first is we want lateral horizontal, which is moving towards the target, away from the target. That starts the golf swing. Then we have torque, which turns the body, both in the backswing and in the downswing. And then lastly, we have verticals, which is up and the down and the unweighting in your golf swing. Super important. Now, here's the best bit. Some of you out there are gonna benefit from more lateral than you do torque, and more torque than lateral, and then also more vertical than not. All you need to do is find out which ones benefit you the most. When we first got force plates, and it would totally make sense, they would go, okay, if we can just peak all of these forces, you're gonna be an amazing golfer. However, what we found is that that's not the case. Long drive guys, yeah, we're trying to peak all those out because they only have to hit the grid, I think it's 1 out of 8 or 1 out of 10 times. But us normal golfers that are always trying to get the ball as far as we can and still in play, what we need to do is you need to find out what works for you. So first things first is you need to know, which leg are you more dominant? And here's a quick test I want you to do to see if you are front post centered or more of a rear post. Now, just because you're a front post golfer does not mean this is stack and tilt. And I'm sorry, but that is not a great way to generate club head speed. There are some golfers that may need that because they have a certain, obviously, body type, but majority of golfers, we want to transfer our pressures and our weights because that does increase club head speed. So what I want you to do is you're going to put your feet just a little bit narrower than shoulder length apart. I want you to put your hands just palm down. From here, you're going to make a couple turns back and forth just like this, getting comfortable with this motion. Then once you feel like, I want you to close your eyes, and then I want you to just turn and rotate just a couple times. Now, when you watch yourself in the recording of that, what you're looking for is, how does your body move? So for me, I'm a little bit more of a trail post golfer. I'm going to move this way. Even though I have an injured hip, my body still wants to turn and load this way. If you look like you don't move whatsoever, you're probably more of a center post. Now, just because you're center post, again, does not mean that we don't load. You just maybe don't load 80 to 90% of pressure into your trail side. If, let's say, you make your motion and you look a little bit more like that, you probably have a more dominant lead leg. But again, that does not mean that we're not going to transfer some pressure into the trail foot, just won't be as much. So again, finding out which one you are is going to be good. Now, then from there, depending on what your swing looks like, you might want to vary either your laterals, your torques, or your verticals. And I'm going to cover those in follow-up videos. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I might pick a couple golfers to do swing analysis for and talk about why in your swing you might want more of those so that you can hit your best shots. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. And as always, if you need one-on-one coaching, find me on the Skills app. I'd love to help you out.